Hey guys, it's Super here. So it's Thursday and we have a brand new update, and this one's a pretty interesting one. So let's get right into it. So first of all, on Friday we will have a limited time hero rerun. This one's pretty interesting because we're actually going to get two limited time heroes on the banner. The first one is going to be Jack and Roll as the main legendary hero and the one which the pity will work for. And we also have Little Jack on the banner as well as somewhat functionally at least as a regular legendary hero. So even though we do have two limited time heroes, I would say don't summon on this banner because both of them are pretty outdated now and not really worth getting at this point, at least not worth spending your summons on. So next we also have this Arcane Gem Mystic Alchemy banner, and you can see over here that we do have no new Arcane Gem. So we have this gem, which I believe is the Giselle gem. We have this one, which is put on characters like Marie usually. Then we have this one, Jade of Abyss Dragon, not really used too much. And lastly, we have Ember of Eternity, which is a pretty good gem. So whether you summon for this is kind of up to you. I think I'm personally going to be saving and not really spending on this banner. But of course, if you guys want to, by all means, you can go ahead. At the same time, we do have the Arcane Gem Trial over here. So this is pretty straightforward. Just simply click on the trial and then you can just do one test fight. So let's just fight this guy who basically doesn't have a team, and this is just to show you guys how you do it. So click the Arcane Gem Trial over here, put whatever gems you want. It doesn't really matter what you actually do over here. Of course, you can set up the gems to make sure, like, maybe it's beneficial to you, and then just you can do the fights. Whether you win or lose, it will count as one fight. And obviously, as you can see, the count says 10, so you do want to do 10 of these trials and you will get this reward. So besides that, for next month's battle order, or rather hero quest over here, they've announced the options from the hero chest, which will be Atkins, Johnny, and Ronai. So amongst the three options, I would say Ronai and Atkins are the better ones. So Atkins is a pretty good shielder, outclassed now, used to be really good in PvP, but still very serviceable, especially for new players. And the second hero is Ronai, another PvP character which has been outdated, but usable at exclusive 3, although I wouldn't recommend you use any eyes on her at all. Besides that, things they haven't announced in the patch note, but you can see in the event calendar over here, we will get this flower breeding event. This one is the event where I believe you can select up to 3 legendary heroes, and if you spend a certain amount of money, you can get all 3 of them. We have Gift of Heaven returning on Tuesday, and lastly, Group Benefit Pack returning on Tuesday as well. Basically, the most value way to spend $50 in this game, which is nice. Besides that, let's talk about the main thing for this update, which is the Faction Abyss expansion over here. So now every single Faction Abyss has been expanded to have up to stage 50, as you can see. And this is pretty tricky and gonna be very difficult for most players because, first of all, not many players have even completed Faction Abyss to stage 30. But anyway, we can just take a look. You can see we have 2 teams over here. From 31 to 40, that will be the requirement. And for 41 to 50, you will have to have 3 teams, which of course is a very high amount. So let's just make 2 teams, and this should be pretty simple because of how strong the Unruly Outlaws faction is, although the difficulty of this stage, or rather of this faction is pretty high. It's much more difficult than normal, but I think we should still be able to work things out. So this will be our first team, and this will be our second team, like so. I think this should work pretty well. So I'm just deciding where I kind of want to slot my Elise. So we have speed up 2 on this team. Well, I believe this should work either way. So let's just give ourselves, maybe we can give this team Unicorn, we can give this one Divine Griffin, and it should be pretty straightforward, right? So there are actually packs for clearing each of these stages, or we can see that we actually did lose over here, so we can probably just swap these 2 teams. I would imagine this will work. Yeah, so I don't have enough faction tokens to keep going, but you can see that there are several rewards depending on the amount of stars you get. So we do have these new Runestone selection chests for new auras, which I'll show you guys in a second. But besides that, if you get enough stars, there are some good rewards like this Arcane Gem selection chest. We also have Spirit Beast selection chest over here, and I believe one more Spirit Beast selection chest at the very end. So actually one more Arcane Gem chest and one more Spirit Beast Selection chest. So yeah, obviously getting, for example, this last reward is going to be very difficult, but you know, this is just a slow process, and over time you guys will be able to get more and more stars. So alongside this Faction Abyss expansion, you can see there will be new packs as you clear certain stages, and I believe I've unlocked every single pack available, but let me just show you guys some of them, and basically all of them are actually really good value. So we have this one over here with primarily, I would say, Elise, Reyna, maybe Dianmu if you have Dianmu Indra, and even Lance for 20 USD. That's pretty good value. Next we have this one, which has a lot of the more recent heroes for $50. This is also really good value. So we have Kadrian, Penny, Makati, Kalana, Hania, Tyrell, and Ans, I would say, as the main ones. Then we have this $50 pack, which has all the old limited time heroes. I wouldn't really recommend this one in particular unless you really need one of them. And then we have this Echo chest, which includes up to Boris Echo, which is nice as well. So there are definitely going to be more packs as you clear the higher stages. Probably up to stage 45 or even 50 there will be more. But of course, as you can see over here, because I don't have enough faction tokens, the highest I've cleared is up to stage 38. So yeah, maybe we can come back in the future and take a look at the packs. But now let's take a look at the auras you can craft using these new materials. So you can see we have 6 new auras. So Bone Gnawing Toxin, Raging Inferno, Heart Piercing, Scorching Soul, Unending Bleeding, and Shattered Cloud. So out of the 6 new auras, 5 of them are basically the same thing, so let's take a look at them. So it's this increases X damage, so you can see it's the exact same thing, but the damage type is different. So increases whatever type of damage by up to 60% is really significant. So I think on your damage dealers, we're going to start seeing a lot of people using these auras. And for every one ally with the specific tag deployed, increases self-skill damage by up to 14%, up to 4 layers, which is really high, so 14 times 4, that's going to be 56. And increases damage reduction in the arena by up to 16%. So an extremely strong aura and something which we will likely be using in meta teams. So these auras exist for poison, burn, internal injury, HP burning, and bleed. And the last one actually isn't for direct damage, which is what you may expect, but we rather get a piercing aura instead. So increases piercing by 36%, additionally gain up to 54% piercing, so this will be for a total of 90% when dealing damage to units with higher defense themselves, and increases damage reduction in arena by 16%. So overall, some very interesting auras. We'll have to wait and see how it affects the meta, which characters we should be putting them on, and so on. But yeah, it's nice to see this new auras being introduced. Besides that, there's also going to be a new division being introduced. It's not in this update, but maybe we can expect it in next week's update or sometime in the near future. But currently you can see after 12 months, we enter Ultimate Division. And this is going to change because Ultimate Division will now be from 12 to 24 months. And after 24 months, there'll be a brand new Supreme Division. So this will help slightly for players who have accounts older than 12 months. You're not going to be fighting those extreme veterans who will just basically destroy you. This will help slightly. I think further changes will be needed in the division system, but this is a step in the right direction. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.